Hey there, everybody. Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, Replay Baseball Classic 1984. It's the 1984 New York Mets versus the 1984 St. Louis Cardinals. It's going to be Dwight Doc Gooden, Dr. K on the mound for the Mets against Joaquin Andujar. And let's use these amazing looking cards and go over the lineups for the New York Mets. Got Wally Backman leading off at second base. Danny Heap, the right fielder, batting second. Batting third is center fielder Darryl Strawberry. Rusty Staub, batting cleanup at first base. Batting fifth is George Foster, the left fielder. Ubi Brooks at third base, batting sixth. Batting seventh is Ron Hodges, longtime Met. Batting eighth is Rafael Santana, the shortstop. And batting ninth is going to be Dwight Gooden. Joaquin Andujar's 8 card. He can go 8 complete. And let's do it. Let's start rolling. Let's see where I can get this going here. And the way you play Replay Classic is you roll 2 dice. It's simpler than the more advanced version, which even the modern version you can play with 2 dice. And I would definitely play it with 2 dice if I played it. I don't like the third die. Just I don't like it. So let's move on and let's start. So that's a 3 and a 6, and the way you read this is you look at the pitcher's card. The 3 gives us a 2, and then the 6 on the batter card under column 3 is a 62. So it's going to be a 64 in column 3. And let's see what that's going to be. And that's going to be a line single to center field. So just like that, Mets had their lead runner on. Base hit for Wally Backman to lead us off. Next batter is Danny Heap. Here's the pitch from Andujar. So that tells us it's a fielding column, and we're going to just look at the 5, and then we're going to look at the shortstop, because the 5 also represents the shortstop. 4 and 5 is the shortstop. So we're going to look at 5. It's going to be an 18 plus the shortstop. Chris Spire is, I believe, a 3. Generally, Chris Spire is a 3, so that's an 18 plus a 3 is a 21. Column 4 with the halfway, infield halfway. So a 21, it's a 3 and an 18. A 21 is going to be a ground single into the outfield. Runners advance 1 base. So the Mets got something going immediately here with the first 2 runners reaching on singles. And here comes Darryl Strawberry. You know, Darryl Strawberry can give the Mets a lead with 1 swing of the bat. Power hitting, a young power hitting outfielder for the Mets. And that is a 5 and a 4. So it's going to be a 2 off of Andujar. And the 4 is going to read a 32. So it's going to be a 34. And I believe that's going to be strike 3. Big strikeout for Andujar. Reaches back for a little extra and blows Strawberry away. Here's Rusty Staub, left-handed hitter, Legrand Orange, beloved in Montreal after he learned French. And he's a culinary expert, runs a series of restaurants and so forth. And here he is back with the Mets. He was with the Mets in that 73 World Series. And he is back with the Mets now. Here goes. And that's a 3 and a 5. So it's going to be a 2 off Andujar, and to be a 32, column 3. And what is that going to tell us? It's going to be a line out to short, left field. So it's hits it right on the screws, goes the opposite way, but flies out to the left fielder for out number 2. And here's George Foster, was signed in 1982. 82 or 83 for $10 million. He basically is released from the 86 team when he didn't join the brouhaha over in Cincinnati. He sat in the dugout. All the Mets, basically matched up with somebody in the fight, but Foster stayed on the bench, and this was really unappreciated by his teammates. So here's George Foster. Here's a pitch, and that is a 21. So it's going to be a 1 there, and a 1 here. It's going to be a 41 column 2. So it's going to be a 41 column 2, and that is going to tell us it's a ground ball right back to Andujar. Picks it up, throws out Foster, and that retires the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and after getting the first 2 men on, the Mets fail to monopolize that situation. So here's Doc Gooden, and he can go 8. Let's go over the lineups for the Cardinals. Willie McGee, the center fielder, starting off. Andy Van Slyke in right field, batting second. Batting third is Terry Pendleton, the third baseman. Batting cleanup is Darrell Porter, the catcher. Mike Jorgensen at first base. He's an ex-Met. Tommy Herr, the second baseman, batting sixth. Batting seventh is Tito Landrum, the left fielder. Batting eighth is Chris Spire, the shortstop. And Joaquin Andujar is ninth. Beautiful cards. Excuse me. Bottom of the first, let's do it. That's a 6-3, it's a 1 there, and a 3 is a 17, that's a strikeout. So Doc Gooden strikes out Willie McGee. And here's Andy Van Slyke. And that is a 4, so it's an error column. So it's going to be a 7. The 1 is to the first baseman, which is an 8, so that's grounded to Staub, who makes the play. Let me just double check what Staub is. Usually I have Hernandez over there, and he's a 1. So I don't know that Staub is. Yeah, Staub is a 5. Hold on a second. So that makes it a 12. That may actually be an error. So it's a 1. It's to the first baseman, an 8. Yeah, hold on a second here. All right. So it was a 7 plus a 5 is a 12. And on column 4 with the infield back, the 12 is going to be a little bouncer to Staub, and he bobbles it, drops it, and Van Slyke is safe. So that's the difference between having a guy like Hernandez, would have made the play, and Staub, who was just terrible at first base. So it's going to be an E3, and a runner's on first. Let's commit the first error of the game. So Van Slyke is on at first. Yep, because if you can see, Rusty Staub is a terrible first baseman. Let's double check that. He's a 5. That's basically, you can't be any worse than that. So his range is bad. Not necessarily his error rating is okay. Is actually good. Doesn't commit a lot of errors, but his range is really poor. He got to that ball, but bobbled it, made an error, and with 1 out, there's a runner on first. There goes a perfect game. Here's Terry Pendleton. And again, that's a 4, so it's a fielding column. So we're going to look at a 10, and that 2 is going to go to the second baseman. Backman's a 3, so it's going to be a 13, column 4 with the infield halfway, and that's going to be safe at first on an error. Back-to-back errors by the Mets infield. Put runners on first and second for the Cardinals. Error on Staub, and now an error on Backman. So here's Darrell Porter, bats from the left side, catcher for the Cardinals. And that's a 6 and a 3, so it's a 1 and a 3 is a strikeout. And we just want to double check. Let's double check that real quick and make sure we're playing it right. Let's see. Column 5. If a pitcher has this column 5 score a strikeout with the bases empty. Okay, so it's not a strikeout in this case. It's going to be a fly out because the bases are not empty. So I wanted to double check that. It's a fly out to left field for Porter. So that's 2 outs, and here comes Mike Jorgensen, another lefty batter, against Doc Gooden. That's a 6 and a 4. Again, is a 1 and a 4 is a 5. Column 6, and that is, oh boy. Oh boy. Let's make sure. Yep, it's a 1 plus a 4. Those low numbers like that in column 6 are not good. And that is going to be a drive into the left field corner. And that is going to score 1 run, score 2 runs. And around second is Jorgensen. He's trying for third. Here's the throw to third, and the tag by Brooks. And he is safe with a 2-run, 2-out triple. Both runs are going to be unearned, by the way. But the Cardinals lead it by a score of 2-0. So Mike Jorgensen comes out big and lines a Gooden fastball for a triple into the left field corner. And that was George Foster throwing that in. My mistake. I think I said Strawberry. All right, so here is Tommy Herr with a runner on third and 2 out. There's a pitch from Gooden. Again, it's the fielding column. And we're going to look at 7. The 3 is going to be to the third baseman, it's going to be a 10, so it's bounced to Brooks, who throws to first, and that retires the side. 2 runs on 1 big hit, that 2-out triple. Both runs are going to be unearned, though. And with the infield back, it's an out. All right, so let's go top of the second now. The Cardinals are up 2-0. Some poor defense by the Mets. Put some runners on and both scored. It's going to be Huey Brooks leading it off against Joaquin Andujar. That's a 2 column 2, so it's a 1, and then the 5 is going to be a strikeout. So Brooks swings and misses at an Andujar curveball. Ron Hodges, left-handed hitting catcher for the Mets, long-time Met. That's a 2 on Andujar, and it's going to be a strikeout. Oh no, 5. Column 3 is a short fly to right field. 2 out. And here's Rafael Santana with a column 3, which is a 2, and then a 5 is a 32, column 3, and that is a line out to short left field, caught by the left fielder Tito Landrum to retire the side. So easy inning for Andujar. As you can see, this game is very fluid and plays very straight, very smoothly. No twists and turns for this game at all, but it does have, a nice level of detail. And here's Dwight Gooden against Tito Landrum. And again, is that another 4, another fielding column, and this one's going to be a 17 on Landrum. That's going to go to the first baseman. It's going to be a 22, column 4, with the infield back, and that's going to be a ground ball single past Rusty Staub. So his range hurts him. And Landrum is on with a single. So Rusty getting a lot of action over there. And that's going to be a 6, oh boy, a 66. It's going to be a column 6 is a 1, and a 6 is going to be a 10 total. So 9 on the batter and 1 on the pitcher. It's a 10 total, and that is going to read single to right field. Runners advance 1 base. All right, so we got first and second. We're going to bunt here with the pitcher, and we're going to roll 1 die basically, and it's going to be a 1, and that is going to be the first baseman. First baseman is a 1. Right there. So it's going to go to the first baseman. He's a 5. And then the 1 on the sacrifice is a 2, so that's a 7 altogether, and that will be a good sacrifice with the infield in. So I guess it's a 3-4 sacrifice. That doesn't really matter. An out is an out. Both runners are going to move up. And so you got 2 runners in scoring position for Willie McGee. Willie McGee in this replay, and I didn't talk too much about the replays, batting .267. The Cardinals are in 6th place. The Mets are in 5th place. The Mets are 50 and 51. The Cardinals are 51 and 54. All right, so here's the infield is going to be in. And that's a 6 and a 1. Again, it's a 1 and a 17, column 6. And that is going to be a deep fly ball, runner on third with less than 2 outs, scores on a sacrifice fly. So this is going to be an earned run here. So 1 and a fly ball deep left field. On the track is Foster, and that's deep enough to get a throw. Goes to third. Landrum scores easily. RBI for McGee on the sac fly. And here is Van Slyke. Runner on second, 2 outs. Andy Van Slyke bats lefty. Here's the pitch from Gooden. Wow, again. Holy smokes. I've been rolling nothing but 6s and 4s. And that's a 1, and a 5 is a 17. And this is lifted to shallow left field. Racing in is Foster, and Foster's there. That will retire the side. But the Cardinals pick up a run on a couple of singles, and we move to the top of the 3rd inning. So I will play some modern replay baseball, but I will be using the 2 dice and using the 4th row, I believe it is, on the pitcher's card. That is the row that you use if you want to play a 2 dice version of the game. So, but I really love the tall pitcher cards, and whenever they're available, I would definitely get those. So Doc Gooden is going to lead off here at the top of the 3rd inning. We're playing a game August 1st, 1984. Playing through this, we got maybe a series in August, a series in September, and we're done with the season. And we may play it again. We'll see what happens. Here's a pitch, and that is a 62. So it's a 4 there on Andujar, and a 2 is a 9. That's going to be a base hit. So a single for Gooden. He's on at first. And here is Wally Backman. And that's a 5. It's a 2 there, and it's going to be a 3, column 5. Three, column 5 is a ground ball to third, halfway out at second. Runners advance 1 base. So ground out to third, Gooden to second, 1 out. Danny Heap bats from the left side, faces Joaquin Andujar. Here's a pitch from Andujar, and that again is a fielding column. So we're going to look at the 2 plus the second baseman, and with the infield back here, playing the infield back. I believe it's going to be ground out, runner advances, and it will be. 2 away, runner on third now. And here's Darryl Strawberry. Batting third today. Hernandez is out of the lineup. We're playing actual lineups. Here's the pitch. And that's a 1 and a 3, so it's a 3 there. It's a 3 on column 1 for the pitcher, and then a 3 is going to be a strikeout, and that retires the side. So after the single, Andujar puts him down in order, no runs, 1 hit. We'll move to the bottom of the 3rd. Three nothing Cardinals. Terry Pendleton leading it off. There you go. And that is an 11. That I believe is a, let's see, that's a base hit, single to left. Another hit allowed. Wow. Not having good luck at all. And the plus means we're going to try to roll above the catcher. And we do not, so I believe he is out on the plus sign. Plus sign is a little bit different. Here it is. Plus sign says, with the plus sign, use the same procedure. The roll is not higher the catcher's defensive rating. The runner is caught stealing. So the throw from Hodges in time to get Pendleton. And it's a 2-6 since Porter is a lefty batter. So the single is erased by the caught stealing, and here comes Darryl Porter. Now let's just check Hodges. I mean, Hodges should be about a 3 catcher. Not a great defensive catcher. I mean, he's an older veteran by this point. Yeah, he's a 3. He's good. All right, so it's a 5, column 5, which is a 3, and a 1 is going to be a 7, column 5, and that is going to be a base on balls, I believe. Yeah. So Porter walks. He's on at first. And here's Mike Jorgensen. And that is a column 4 fielding again. And the 6 is a 7. That's hit to the second baseman. And that will be, ooh, that may be a double play actually. With the infield halfway. Double play. It's a 4-6-3. The Mets turn it. And that retires the side. No runs. 1 hit. 1 left. Well, actually, no left with that double play. And we move to the top of the 4th inning. Rusty Staub is leading it off. And that is a 5-4. So that's a 2, and a 4 is a 29. 29 on column 5. And that is going to be a fly out to short center field. Right there is McGee, Willie McGee playing center. And here's George Foster. All right, that's going to be a 5, so it's going to be a 2, a 20 on column 5, and that is going to be a base hit between first and second. So Foster on with a single. UV Brooks is up next. Fielding column. 2 is to the second baseman. And that is going to be, ooh, that's going to be a double play. Infield halfway. It'll be a 4-6-3 double play. They turn it. No runs, 1 hit, none left. We move to the bottom of the 4th. Dwight Gooden against Tommy Herr. That's a 1, and a 3 is a strikeout. So Gooden reaches back for a little extra and blows a fastball by Herr. And that is a 3, which is a 2, and a 4 is a 21. 21 on column 3. And that will be a fly out to center field. On the run is Strawberry, and Strawberry tracks it down. Here's Chris Spire. Can't see what the number is. It's a 1, it's a 3, and that's a strikeout. So Gooden picks up a couple of Ks here in the 4th inning and retires aside, 3 up, 3 down. That is Gooden's 3rd strikeout of the game. And we move to the top of the 5th inning. It's Joaquin Andujar versus Dwight Gooden, 1984. You're watching Cards and Dice TV. We're playing the classic version of Replay Baseball. All right, here goes. Here's the pitch from Andujar. It's a column 2, so it's a 1 there, and a 6, it's a 5, and that's a strikeout. So Hodges swings and misses, heads back to the bench with the bat on his shoulder. Here's Rafael Santana lined out earlier. That's a 1 and a 12, and that's line base hit. So Santana picks up a single. And we'll double check that since we're still learning the game. And it is a single. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. That's why we had to double check that. A 2 is a 1, and a 2, it's a 12, and it is a single to right. Just made it by 1. All right, so here's Dwight Gooden. Dwight Gooden's going to swing away. Here's a pitch, and that is a 60, can't see that, 61. So it's a 4, and the 1 is going to be a 20 on column 6, and that's going to be a deep fly ball. So Gooden gets into one here, drives it deep to center field. Back goes McGee, and McGee is there. So Gooden hit it a ton, but did not carry out. The wind must be blowing in out there in center field. And with 2 out and 1 on, here's Wally Backman. Wally Backman in the replay's batting 248. That's column 2, so it's a 1 there, and the 5 is a 4, and that's a strikeout, inning over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. Now both these pitchers, because I'm playing these older seasons, both these pitchers can potentially go a complete game. All right, Joaquin Andujar leading it off. And that is a column 4, so we're going to look. It's to the second baseman, and it's an easy out for Backman. Throws out Andujar. Willie McGee, that's a 2 and a 4, column 3, and that's going to be a fly out to left field. Over is Foster, makes the catch, 2 down. And here's Van Slyke. That's a 1, and a 3 is a 40, column 2. 40, column 2, and that's a ground out. Right back to Gooden, picks it up, throws out Van Slyke. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Mets can't get anything going here. They've scattered a few singles here and there, but have not been able to get anything together past the 1st inning when they had 2 back-to-back singles with nobody out. But it did not work for them. They weren't able to capitalize on that situation. But since then, Joaquin Andujar has basically mystified Mets at the plate. Here's Danny Heap. He's a left-handed hitter. Danny Heap in our replays batting 290. That's a 1 and a 2. It's a 3 there, and a 2 is a 37, column 1. And that's going to be a ground ball to second base. Picked up by Tommy Herr and throws out Heap. 1 down. Next is Strawberry. Strawberry with a 4 and a 20. That's a deep fly ball, center field. Got a hold of that one. Drove it deep to the warning track, and right there is McGee. And here is Rusty Staub with a 5-5. It's a 2 and a 17, column 5. And that is going to be a top single in front of the plate. Chance for an extra base on an error. Roll against the fielder, so we're going to roll against the catcher's small error rating. And the catcher's small error rating is a 3. If the die is higher, it's an error. So higher than a 3? No, so there's no error. And it's a single for Staub. Staub is on at first with 2 outs, and here's George Foster. George Foster, power hitting left fielder for the Mets. He's batting 281 with 63 RBIs here in August, on his way to perhaps a 100 RBI season. And that's a 3-3. That's going to be a 2, and a 3 is a 34. Oh, that's going to be a drive. Gets a hold of one, drives it deep in the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall. Runners advance 2 bases. And we could try to score Rusty, but I don't know that Rusty is the guy you want to try to score here, especially when you're down by 3. Yeah, no, he's really slow, so we're going to hold up Rusty. Foster leans into one and drives it, and he's going to get a stand-up double out of it, putting runners at second and third with 2 out in the top of the 6th inning. The score is 3-0 Cardinals, and here comes Huey Brooks. So the Mets have a chance to score some runs here. Singlewood may score 2 runs. Most likely will score 2 runs. So Joaquin Andujar is going to be visited by his catcher, Darryl Porter. Goes out to the mound. And Joaquin Andujar, he's a right-handed thrower, so he's fine pitching to Brooks. All right, so Brooks steps into the box. Joaquin checks for the sign. Here's a pitch. And that is a 2 and a 1. A 2 is a 1, and a 1 is a 44. So it's going to be column 2, a 1 there, and then a 43 on the batter. So that's going to be a 44 total. Column 2, I don't know by memory what that means. And it's going to be a ground out right back to Andujar, picks it up, throws out Brooks, and that retires the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and we move on to the bottom of the 6th inning. Doc Gooden settled down. He's retired 7 in a row. Struggled a little bit early. 2 of the runs that scored against him were unearned, but he did give up 2 back-to-back singles. And then a sacrifice fly scored another run in the 2nd inning. Terry Pendleton is leading it off. He's 1 for 2. He reached on an error and scored a run and singled and was caught stealing. So he's been busy. And that's a 5-5. It's a 3 there, and that's a 22, column 5, and that is going to be a single off the pitcher's glove. Roll 1 die. Small pitcher rating is a 4, so if it's higher than a 4, it's an error. And nope, so doesn't throw it away. So it's going to be a single for Pendleton. And here's Darryl Porter. Oh, that's a 6-6. That's going to be trouble. That's going to be a 1 and a 10 is an 11, column 6, and that is, ooh, just missed being a home run. So obviously Porter did not hit too many home runs. But Gooden didn't give up a lot of home runs. He had a stellar year in 1984. It's going to be a single to center. Runners advance 1 base. So it's going to be 1st and 2nd now. Gooden's struggling here a little bit today. He gave up 2 singles there, 3 singles, 4, 5 singles. Only 6 hits. But every time he goes out there, I expect a shutout. Here's Mike Jorgensen. And you know what? We are going to bunt with Jorgensen. So let's roll our die. Let's put runners on 2nd and 3rd here. See if we can score another run. And what is that? All right, that's going to be a 4. So that is going to be to the shortstop. 4 and a 5 is the shortstop. I may have said 5 and 6 before, but it's 4 and 5 to the shortstop. Actually, there's no shortstop on this. It's a bunt play. You got to look up here in this little box. My mistake. It's to the 3rd baseman. 3rd baseman is a 3. A 3 and the 4 on sacrifice. It's a 19, and that is the infield. The 4, let's see. Is the infield in? No. So that's a, well, we could play the corners are going to be in. No, the corner's not going to be in. Everybody's looking for double. All right, so that's going to be a 19. That's a pop out. That's a pop out to the 3rd baseman. So it's a failed sacrifice attempt. And here's Tommy Herr. And it's a 5, which is a 3, and a 2 is a 4. Which is going to be a halfway out at 2nd. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. 4 to 6. Put your runners on 1st and 3rd now. So Tommy Herr is on at 1st. Pendleton is on at 3rd. 2 outs. And here comes Tito Landrum. Pitch from Gooden. And it's a 1 and a 6 is a 36. 36, column 1, and that is going to be, I believe it's a strikeout. Let me double check. Got to look at a different chart here. 36 strikeout. And that ends the inning. So Gooden comes back with a fastball and blows it by Landrum to retire the side. That's his 4th strikeout of the game. So no runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and we move to the top of the 7th inning. All right, Ron Hodges. And it's a 3, it's a 40, column 2, a 40, column 2, and that is going to read a ground out. Again, right back to Andujar, and he throws out Hodges. Here's Rafael Santana with a 3 and a 6. That's going to be a 2, and a 6 is a 44, column 3. And a 44 is a line drive to left versus a right-hander, leaping catch by shortstop. Oh, so Santana lines one, hits it right on the screws, but a great catch by the shortstop, Chris Spear. So it's going to be an L6. And here is Doc Gooden with 2 outs. We're going to let him bat. So already has a hit today. Column 2, which is a 1 and a 6, is a strikeout, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Andujar. In the top of the 7th, we move to the 7th inning stretch. Go get to the concession real quick. Grab yourself that last brewski because things will be closing down. Here is Chris Spear. And it's a 4 and a 6, and that is a 17. The 6 is to the shortstop. Santana is a 3, so that's a 20. 20 on column 4 with the infield back, and that is an out of first. So great play by Santana. Hit up the middle, he gets there, spins, throws the first in time. Here's Andujar, 6-6, it's a 1, that's an 8, column 6, and I believe that's a base hit. Little ground ball up the middle and through into center field for a base hit. So Andujar is on with a single, and here's William McGee. Again, that is the fielding column, and that's going to be to the third baseman, who's a 3, fielding column 3. It's a 10, column, no, it's a 17. It's a 17 plus 3 is a 20, column 4, halfway. And that's going to be a single off the infielder's glove. So runners on first and second. And Vance Like is up. Here's a pitch from Gooden. It's a 2 and a 1. It's a 1, and it's a 51. Holy smokes. Column 2, 51. What is that going to be? Column 2 for ground ball to the right side. Picked up by Backman. And Backman throws out Vance Like. Both runners move up. So it's second and third now for Terry Pendleton. He's a switch hitter. Pendleton is batting .358, so we're going to intentionally walk Pendleton here. And we're going to face Darryl Porter. Darryl Porter is batting .226. So bases loaded, 2 outs. There's some action in the Mets bullpen. Bottom of the 7th, 3-0 Cardinals. Andujar is pitching a heck of a game. And here's Darryl Porter. Darryl Porter, I know him from the Kansas City Royals. And here's a pitch. That's a 6 and a 4. It's a 1 and a 4 is a 27, column 6. And this is going to be, I have no idea. It's going to be a long single to left field. Runner with 2 out, runner on first base may attempt to score. All right, so the bases are loaded. Long single to first, not what we wanted to see. So that's a 1 there. It's a 1 there, and a 4 is a 27. And let's see, runners advance 2 bases. So Andujar scores. And McGee scores. And Pendleton, what is Pendleton's speed? It's a 5. So roll 1 die against the runner's speed. If the die is higher, he is out. If not higher, he scores. On the play at home, the batter may try for second. So a bases clearing single. Let's see, let's do it. And he is safe. And let's see if he can try. So the batter, roll 1 die against the batter's speed. If the die is higher, he is out at second. You know what? I'm just going to hold him at first. So it's a 3. All right, we're in the top of the 8th inning. It's 6-0 Cardinals. It's going to be Wally Backman leading off. Joaquin Andujar is pitching a strong game. There's a pitch, and that is a 3, which is on Andujar is a 2, and then the 6 on Backman is a 64, column 3. Let's see what happens. 64, column 3, and that's going to be a line drive single to center. So Backman's picks up his second hit of the game. Came in batting 248. Here's Danny Heat. And that's a 2, which is a 1, and then the 3 is a 40, column 2. 40, column 2 is a ground out to Andujar. He's got a ton of those in this game. Here's Darryl Strawberry with 1 on and 1 out. It's a 1 and a 2. That's a 3 and a strikeout. So that's his 3rd time that Strawberry strikes out. He's 1 away from the golden sombrero. Here is Rusty Staub with 2 out and 1 on. It's a 1-4, it's a 3, and it's an 8, column 1. And that is popped up, middle of the infield. Shortstop Chris Spire is there, makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and we move to the bottom of the 8th inning, just like that. Wes Gardner has replaced Gooden, and it's Tommy Hurt. That's a 4-3. The 3 we're going to look at the 7, and it's the third baseman. It's a 10. It's bounced to the third baseman. And Huey Brooks throws out Hurt, 1 away. Here's Landrum. It's a 5 and a 1. It's a 3, and it's a 7. That's ball 4. So Landrum walks. Chris Spire. That's a 1-4, it's a 2, and a 4 is a 37, column 1, and that is going to be a ground ball to second base. And it's a 4-6-3. Mets turn it, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, a walk, none left. And we move to the top of the 9th. Last licks for the Mets. And Andujar is on his 8 card until he gives up a runner. He's gone 8. He's allowed to go 8. So the way this works is he stays on his A card, and then we flip it over to the B side. So it's going to be George Foster, Huey Brooks, and Ron Hodges. 6-0 game, St. Louis, August 1st, 1984. And the Mets in the replay are 50 and 51. It looks like they're going to be 50 and 52. So that's a column 5. It's a 2. And a 4 is a 34, column 5. And that, I believe, is a strikeout. 1 down. Just from memory. You start memorizing these. Yep. So Foster strikes out. He did go 2 for 4, though, so he did have a good day. Here's Huey Brooks, who's 0 for 3. Struck out, hit into a double play, and then grounded back to the pitcher. That's a 1 and a 6. It's a 3 and a 48, column 1. It's a 3 on the pitcher and then a 45 on Brooks, so it's a 48, and that's going to be a strikeout. That sends us to the strikeout, yeah. So what would happen in this game is you'd get these modifications, these adjustments, and then they'd send, rather than rewriting the whole book, they just sent you 1 extra chart. So back-to-back Ks for Andujar, and Andujar's 1 out away from a complete game shutout. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hitter. Here's the pitch to Ron Hodges. It's a 2 and a 3, so it's a 1 and a 3 is a 40, column 2, and that is going to be a ground out again to Andujar. A lot of 40s in this game, and that is the ball game. Andujar picked up 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 5 assists in this game, more than normal. All right, and that's the ball game. That's the ball game, folks. Its final score is Cardinals 6, Mets nothing. Mets had, I believe, 8 hits, and the Cardinals had 9 hits and no errors. Mets committed 1 error, actually 2 errors. Mets committed 2 errors in that first inning, which led to a couple unearned runs. And the strikeouts for Andujar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 strikeouts for Joaquin Andujar. And he started the game. Let me see. Let's look and see how he started the game. So, E3, and E4. Andujar started with a 3.39 ERA, 14-9 record, and he improved on that with the shutout, won his 15th game, and brought that ERA down for sure. Okay, 9-7. And Gooden started the game with a 2.56 ERA, a 10-8 record. He loses the game, so he goes 10-9, and his ERA will come up a bit, of course, because he did give up. He gave up 4 earned runs in 6 2/3 of an inning, or of a game. 6 2/3 innings, and then 4 earned runs. And really, the killer was Darryl Porter with that bases clearing single, which is kind of unusual, but I have to just play this more to get a feel for it. You know, sometimes you play something 2 or 3 times and it happens 3 times, and then you keep on playing the game, and for another 100 games it never happens again. So anyway, this is Replay Baseball Classic. Tony Porter going back in time to the 1980s using the 80s cards, the 80s book, and the 80s life experience. Take care, guys.